Lego fans, as you can plainly see, today I'm looking at doing a large build and expanding my Lego city with Assembly Square. Kit number 10255 at 4,002 pieces. And when done, we've got this great little set, 3 buildings, nice Parisian styling, and should be a fantastic addition to my Lego city, which all sounds absolutely amazing. And of course, before we can get to any of that, first we've got to get this unboxed, get this thing built, and then we can start having a closer look at Assembly Square. Another modular done, another fantastic addition for my Lego city, and I gotta say, I think this one might be my favorite thus far. Built in the Parisian style, these 2 buildings have lovely detail in the exterior, and a whole host of scenes to explore within. We've got a cafe, music store, ballerina studio, florist, photography shop, bakery, dentist, small apartment with rooftop terrace, and all of this is surrounding Assembly Square, which has a beautiful little fountain right in the center. Taking off the top 2 levels so we can get a better look at the ground floor, we have the cafe, florist, and bakery. For starters, let's have a closer look at the cafe. Zooming at the back here, we can see we have the rear entrance with a nice clear glass door, and just beside it, we've got some nice vine work climbing up the wall. Coming around the side, not too much to see here, but this is normal because this would normally be sandwiched up against another building, and you wouldn't get to see it at all. And right here in front, the cafe has some large windows, a little seating area just in front with an awning above that, which is located right next to the front door with some nice tile work in front of it, and a pretty radiant sign above that with a steaming hot cup of coffee. And then around on the side, we've got a little more seating, another awning to keep our customers dry, and the entrance to the upper floors. But before making our way up there, let's have a look inside the cafe. Just inside the front door, we find a counter, which on it has a small cash register, piece of pie, 2 cups waiting for some coffee, our eager, happy-looking staff right behind that, and just behind them, the coffee machine. Along the left wall, in the back, there's a small table with seating for 1, some sconces on the wall just above that, and on the front, a bench big enough for seating for 2, and a larger table. Moving on up to the second floor, starting with the exterior, we find a nice blue and white motif, with the walls having a nice texture making it look like wood lats that have been painted blue, and a whole bank of large, very attractive white windows. Around the back, there's 2 very basic, non-decorative windows, and of course, on the other side, not too much to see. In the interior, all the way in the back, we see the hole in the floor where people come up the stairs from the floor below, and of course, just above that, the stairs to get up to the 3rd floor. 1 salesman standing behind the counter with his own cash. Up on the wall, we've got 2 guitars, 1 electric, 1 acoustic, and all the way over in the front, there's a full big drum set and a nice saxophone. And now up to the 3rd floor, where we find the exterior detailing to be almost the same as the 2nd floor, with the exception of the window in the corner being replaced by a small balcony, and again having the very basic boring windows in the back. Within, in the back, we again have the stairs going up and down, then we have a piano to provide some music for our ballerina to practice in front of her mirror, which I have to say is a pretty interesting piece because I've never seen one like this before. Just a highly reflective, flat piece of plastic with no studs that's just held in place by the bricks around it. Going up the final set of stairs in this building, to the top level, we come to the roof, where we find a skylight which should give some absolutely great lighting to the dance studio below, a trap door, which would of course be located right at the top of the stairs, and around the outer edge, some lovely detailing, giving the building some beautiful character. Being done with our first building and heading down to the ground floor, it's time to get a look at our second building, where, right in front, first we find this beautiful fountain. Pretty simple in its design, but definitely looking elegant and surrounded by some nice tile work around all sides. Just behind, we have the florist shop, which is easy to identify with the large tulips attached to the wall, and a small floral arrangement in front of the left-hand window. Over in front of the right-hand window, we've got a little bin with some cleaning supplies, which is located right next to one of the bakery's display windows. This one displaying an assortment of cookies and or small cakes, and the one on the right, the larger display window, having a large wedding cake on display. And both of these windows are made from garage door pieces that are mounted vertically, making for some really attractive, large display windows. Swinging around to the rear, we find the back entrance to the bakery shop. Right next to it, there's a little crate which within has a cherry, an external staircase leading up to the 2nd floor, which you have to enter the bakery to access, and behind the florist, we've got one little basic window, a wide green and clear stained glass window above that, which, for some reason, you can remove. I'm not sure why, so I welcome your theories in the comments below. And on the final side, facing the door that leads up to the upper floors of the cafe, we have the back door leading into the florist shop. In here, we've got the florist behind the counter, some cash sitting there because she must have just made a sale, a little cash register beside that, in the corner, terrarium, behind her, a bunch of pre-made bouquets. Along the back wall, there's a parrot sitting on a stand, looks to me like a blue and gold macaw, and flipping it around to the front, there's a nice large floor arrangement right in front of the window. Over on the other side, we find our baker, who's standing behind his counter, which is loaded up with all kinds of sweets and goodies. Behind him, a shelf filled with other delicatessens, that wedding cake we saw earlier just over on his left, a few treats in that display window we saw earlier right in front of him, and over on his right, he's got his oven, which, when you open the door and press the little green button on the back side of the building, you can nicely eject the cookies that have been baking within. And this is all situated under the stairs, which I'll bet you are nice and toasty warm. The left side of the building has a very simple and basic motif, with small floor arrangements in front of the 2 windows, and the upper half all being blocked off. Over on the right side, in the window, we can see that this is the dentist's office. In the corner, there's a beautiful bay window, and the entire exterior is covered with these beige bricks that just look amazing. And round back, we find the external stairs leading up to the 3rd floor, the landing that gives us access to the 2nd floor, and the exterior to the photographer's apartment. Again, having the top row of windows blocked off. Coming into the dentist's office, which, by the way, you can't access without going through the bakery. I think these guys are in cahoots. Along the back wall, beneath the clock, there's a nice little couch where our patients can wait, in full view of the patient that's in front of them. I hope that doesn't give them any anxiety. If that stresses them out, in front of the counter, there's a little magazine rack, which they can use to distract themselves, and a telephone right next to that. Over in the far corner, by that lovely bay window, the dentist has set up his special reclining chair, where he has a little tray right in front that can swivel in, and, of course, that very maneuverable light above, so he's got that good lighting that he requires. Behind that, there's a little utility zone, nice counter, sink so you can wash up, some drawers with some different implements within it, and a little cabinet having some vials, and a painting on the wall, which honestly should be on the other wall because it should be for the patients to view, which they're never going to see back here. Then we have this door that connects the dental clinic with the photography studio, where we can see here our photographer standing behind this great old camera as he's in the middle of a photo shoot with a young mother, a little child, sitting on a white backdrop, which is in the form of a roll of white material which attaches to the wall and then extends all the way down to the floor. Moving on up to the third floor, on the left-hand side we have a solid wall. It's made up of 2 Technics excavator shovels and a small decorative fence above that. And then on the other side we have an exterior that's identical to the one on the dentist office, one floor below, having those gorgeous bay windows and nice brickwork on 2 sides. Around the back we have the landing that would be at the top of the stairs, a door that leads into the apartment, and a pretty sweet rooftop lounge. In the back corner there's a wood-burning stove or a barbecue, not sure what, looks pretty epic. Right next to that, a little food prep surface currently having a pan on it, clips on the walls for storing the items when they're not in use, a nice little table for 2. In the back left corner it looks like there's a dead plant there, I'm not really sure I get that one. And built into the wall, a ladder that leads up to the roof. Within the apartment, the most prominent thing is this pretty awesome train setup, with a little track that runs round through a tunnel, and lush green hills and foliage throughout. Along the wall, there's some additional train cars that can be thrown in. On the floor beneath that, we've got a Lego set for another modular that I wish I had, but I don't. And in the bay window, there's some kind of statue here, which I don't quite get. Flipping around to the other side, on the wall, we've got a little artwork and a shelf loaded up with supplies. Just beneath that, we have a red futon, which you can lay flat when it's time to sleep, or of course, put back into couch mode. And over on the left, a little kitchen, which has an oven, sink, microwave, and some small shelves. And then there's a small washroom with 1 toilet, no shower. And finally, up on the roof, we have a nice blue steeple that would sit right above the bay windows from the floors below, and 2 sides having some nice decorative work, almost sculptural up on top, and some nice detailing along the lower edge. And now we come to our minifigs, where on our first selection here, we have, starting on the top left, our barista employee, ballerina, and dentist on the top row, and along the bottom row we have 3 other minifigures which are pretty generic and could honestly be for just about anything. Just as, you may have noticed, all the minifigs have the same generic face. And over here we have 2 more minifigs, Mustache Man as I like to call him, and our chef. And then on the top, we got our parrot, again, I think this is a blue gold macaw, a little chihuahua, and 1 baby minifig. With the features and figs all covered, I'm going to return to my opening statement and say that of the modulars I own, this is my favorite. I really love the exterior detailing, the large white windows with blue wood lattice right next to them, the awesome brickwork around those bay windows, the huge bakery store display windows, and a simple yet elegant fountain with a beautiful tile work that exists throughout Market Square. All of which makes for an absolutely fantastic display piece. And while I definitely wouldn't categorize this as a playset, there is definitely fun to be had here. Personally, I love making the scenes, setting them up, moving the figures around, adding other figures I have in my collection, and the fun and satisfaction that comes with customizing the spaces a little bit. I found the dance studio and music shop to be a little bit empty, and initially I was a little disappointed by that. But actually, now I see it more as just an opportunity. And I think it's pretty great to have something that's technically finished, but also has a world of opportunity for whatever you want to do with it. Because of course, this is Lego, and building it and displaying it is a lot of fun, and that's great in and of itself. But if you can do more, that's of course even better.